Yeah, Poe should have gotten laid. Poe should have gotten laid. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream. How you guys doing? This is going to be a heavy spoiler stream. I'm going to literally talk about whatever I want about the movie. I'm trying to put up as many warnings as possible. So if you haven't seen the movie and you care about spoilers, you can stay in the stream. Just mute it. Just mute it. You don't have to hear a thing. All right, cool. Well, to kick things off, we got ourselves a little appropriate beer for the occasion here. Starship IPA. It's like a little skeleton stormtrooper. Look at that. And he also, it's made with Galaxy hops. I guess that's why they're calling it after the. That's why it's themed this way. So, okay, let me start off by saying, as a movie, it was bad. It was a bad movie. But I liked it. Okay, look, I'm not going to pretend that it was a well-done movie. I'm not going to pretend that you shouldn't be rolling your eyes at hella points, right? I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't hella fan service. Just what it was. It was what it needed to be. I think The Last Jedi, while I've come to understand what it was trying to do and how it's better than I initially gave it credit for. However, it exists in the context of a trilogy. It exists in the context of being a sequel. And I do still feel like the writing or the directing made it so that it closed a lot of threads that were being set up by the movie beforehand, or it was dismissive of the setups being built. And therefore, it was a bad movie that didn't do its job. It didn't execute within the scope of what it was supposed to do. If it was all done cohesively under the same idea and guidance, then The Last Jedi might have worked, right? But it's not. It was made with The Force Awakens in existence and The Force Awakens setting things up in a certain way that The Last Jedi just kind of shat on, in my opinion. I think The Rise of Skywalker had to deal with that disconnect and had to spend a lot of time and jump a lot of hoops and make the audience roll their eyes a whole lot to fix all the threads and the different things that The Last Jedi closed off from The Force Awakens. Right? There's one piece of dialogue where Kylo's like, you know when I said your parents were no one? I meant they used to be no one. But they were someone. They're the children of Palpatine. Like, come on, dog. Like, it's so obvious. So obvious that they had to find a way to give meaning to Rey's parents. I've been approached with alternative viewpoints on this. I think it is cool that Rey's parents were nobody because her goal, or it seems that the thing she was after her whole life was to find out who they were because she thought she belonged in this universe in a way that was connected to the Jedi and things like that. And it's cool to know that they were nobody and she had to find a different way to connect to the universe. She had to find a different motivation, right? That the motivation had to come from within herself, not who her lineage was. Okay, that's cool. That's a good idea. Cool. I like that storyline. However, that's not what the fuck The Force Awakens was telling us. The Force Awakens was heavily implying that there was importance to those parents. It was heavily implying that there's a lineage. It was implying all that. No, I don't blame one. I don't blame Rian Johnson. I wouldn't mind if Rian Johnson did all three. But it's the fact that he jumped in and just kind of closed off what was happening with J.J. Abrams' vision. That now led to episode 8 or episode 9 being a mess too. You could blame it on The Force Awakens for not trying anything daring. And you could blame The Last Jedi for dismissing the things that were set up in the last movie as if like it didn't function like a sequel in my opinion. It felt like it was just not, it didn't have a universe or a trilogy in mind. You see what I'm saying? And then The Rise of Skywalker was just here to clean shit up in a weird kind of eye-rolly way. Then the other thing, the fact that Palpatine's back is garbage. But you know why he's back? Because they fucking killed Snoke for no reason. I think it's okay that he dies in the second. But the end of that movie, you just kind of feel like, okay, so then what's left? Now, I do feel that they didn't need to add Palpatine back. They really didn't. And that was lazy on their part. They could have left it off with that and then had Rey and Kylo be the main focus, where Rey takes on a different role. I don't know. He's the leader now. A conflicted one. I don't know, right? They could have done something, but instead they got lazy and said, fuck, we don't... It just felt like, holy shit, we planned for them to have a cause to unite, and that's what Snoke was supposed to be, but he's dead, so let's fuck it. We don't have enough time to introduce a new big bad villain, so let's just fucking rehash one. Right? Nah, Rey didn't go bad. There were moments, and some of it was so cheesy, like eye rolling. Like, there's a moment where, okay, again, remember this is a spoiler stream, where she thinks she killed Chewbacca. But apparently that wasn't real. It was the other ship. There was only one ship that left. Like, that was just dumb. That was just lazy. I thought it would have been so sick if they actually killed Chewbacca. When Chewbacca died, I was like, oh shit. They're trying some. They're doing some shit. This is a lot. Yeah, and then Palpatine's revival, okay, could be handled better. But now you're telling me on the third story, all of a sudden he's just back? Like, look, in the original trilogy, Palpatine didn't come out until the third movie. And that was okay. That was fine. But he was hinted at the whole time. You knew of his existence. You knew he was coming. You knew he was there. So Palpatine was just fan service. And that's a lot of what this movie was. There's a whole lot of fan service. I don't think it's great. I'm not going to get mad at Palpatine coming back because I think he's so sick. But I know it's not great. They could have done better. The funny part is they even have Palpatine try to explain Snoke. Like, we never got a backstory for Snoke. So then Disney is just like, oh, we got to fix this. Actually, people, and rightfully so, were expecting some kind of details about Snoke, and then we just fucking murdered him. So we got to make up for that. So then in one line of dialogue, Palpatine is like, I was pulling the strings. So now you got some details about Snoke. Okay, fine. But you could tell they were just trying to throw something in to make you understand that Snoke. They tried to make you feel like, no, Snoke still mattered. We swear he was supposed to matter. I don't have expectations for Snoke because I need all my villains to have backstories. I don't have expectations for Rey's parents because I need everything to be related to a Skywalker. I have those expectations because you fucking gave them to me on The Force Awakens. It's not my fault that I felt this way. You made this happen. It's your fault. You don't tell someone to go on a date and you're going to pay for it and it's going to be romantic, and then you take her out to Denny's and then you tell her she's got to take the bill. And then she gets mad and then you call her high maintenance. It's like, no, dog, I set up the expectation. She's allowed to be upset. We're allowed to be upset at The Last Jedi because we were given the expectation. Yeah, okay, yeah. Ghosts can straight up manipulate the real... Okay, but look, I also forgive that because I do feel, and it's always been the case, that the Force is something that's constantly being mastered through the years. But then I accept that as the years go by, the Jedi are going to get better at doing shit. Like stopping lasers with their hands. Stopping blades with their hands. Flying places. Okay, that's fine. I understand. So, bitching about the logic behind the Force doesn't make that much sense to me. It never did. Do you look at the prequels different now after watching the new movies? I've always looked at the prequels different. I think the prequels were a shit show in terms of acting, and dialogue and writing is awful. But in terms of what it did for world building, I thought it was great. In the end, with the trilogy, at least for right now, I kind of feel like I'm left with very little. Here's what I did get left with. I know what happened to some of the old characters. That's cool. I know what happens to some new characters, and I'm interested in finding out what happens to them from here on out. Like Rey, like Kylo. I think those two characters are great. I think Poe's great. I think Finn is great. I legit broke up with the girl I was dating because we watched It Follows. Okay, look, I didn't break up with her right away. This was just one of many things. This is just like it led me down the path, right? But we watched It Follows, and if you haven't seen It Follows, it's about this demon entity that follows you until it kills you, and the only way to get rid of it is to have sex with a new person, and then it starts following that new person until it kills that person, then it goes down the line. Weird concept, I know, but the thing is, we were watching it, and she goes, well, how did that thing come to be? What's its backstory? I hate this movie. There's no backstory. I'm like, Doug, it's just a fucking STD demon. I don't know what you want. But the difference with Star Wars and why I feel like a character like Snoke needs a backstory, if you're introducing literally the most ultimate evil in your galaxy, then he better have some kind of story, or at the very least, don't make him out to be the super mysterious thing that you... Like, the very act of putting him in a hologram and making him giant as life is implying that you want to know more about this character. You need to stick around and you're going to find out more about this character. And they just fucking murked him. A thing I didn't understand is how, after the Empire crumbles and the New Republic is established, why is the First Order such a threat? And why is there no Republic army? You literally are the power in the galaxy right now. And the most you muster up is like a ragtag group of resistance fighters. Why are they called the resistance? Why don't you have a fucking navy? Why isn't it an army? A military? Why does it seem like the people in power are just the rebels all over again? I don't get it. That bothered me throughout the entire trilogy. It's like, why is the New Republic so weak? That's what I liked about the prequels, is that we got to see this overarching Republic entity. I like that. Didn't they destroy the Republic with Starkiller Base? They destroyed the capital. That doesn't... But this is a galaxy-wide... It's like if someone puts a bomb in the White House and it blows up... I'm not saying anyone should do that. If the FBI is watching, that's what I'm saying. This is a hypothetical. If someone did that and the White House blew up, no one's like, oh shit, the USA is done. Like, oh shit, everything's chaos. We actually don't exist anymore. That's not what happens, right? The Republic is the entire galaxy. They had one capital planet. It got blown up. Shit. Move the fucking capital then. You got shit everywhere. You didn't kill every politician on the planet. And if you did, you got backups. And if you don't, you're a shitty galaxy running republic. You better have people on all kinds of planets. Yeah, Rian Johnson doing the whole trilogy would have been leagues better. And it would have all made sense. Or, honestly, with the way The Force Awakens started, I would have been fine with J.J. Abrams doing the whole trilogy. In my opinion, J.J. Abrams, what his plan was... started off safe, reintroduce audiences to Star Wars, bring back familiar faces to connect the old fans with the new, and then as the story progresses, you slowly get rid of the old and bring in the new. But nah, by switching it up, switching up the writer, switching up the director, it turned into a disconnected mess that I was not down with. Can you imagine if the next Marvel, like, let's not say the next Marvel movie. Let's say right after Civil War, where Captain America goes to jail or he escapes or whatever, he starts, like, pillaging and plundering. He starts robbing banks. He starts beating up women because he needs to survive on the streets. And then the director's like, oh, we're changing it up on you. You expect one thing from Captain America? Guess again. And it's like, no, fuck off. The only reason we expect this is because this is what you told us. No one, look, and here's the thing. No one expects Luke Skywalker to be this perfect, super amazing Captain America type character who never does any wrong, right? He's not that, clearly. I mean, he fucking kissed his sister, right? But he was flawed, fine. But was he so flawed that he tries to kill someone in their sleep? His nephew? In his sleep? And if he is, you better write a damn good reason for it. Not just, oh, he might be going to the dark side. Let me straight up murder him in his sleep. Or try to. There is a difference from imperfect and murdering your own family in your sleep. Okay? I'm not perfect either. I'm not going to murder my family in their sleep. And if I did, then you guys would be like, holy shit, I never thought Hugo would do that. You'd be right. You're correct. So why are we not allowed to look at Luke and say, why the fuck is he trying to kill someone in his sleep? His own family. Did they touch on how Maz Kanata got Luke's blue lightsaber? No. No, absolutely not. Wait. Wasn't that in The Force Awakens? Didn't they literally say, like, they would explain how she got it? Didn't they say that? Good story for another time. And then never again. Yes, exactly. And honestly, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about with The Force Awakens. It set up all these expectations, and then The Last Jedi just shit on it. Yeah, there's no world where you're going to tell me. I know there are people saying it already. There's no world where you're going to tell me that the story arc of all three was planned from the beginning. This is clearly damage control on all levels. How did I feel about this movie? Well, to start, let me talk about how I felt going into this movie. I did not give a shit. I actually legitimately did not even see the trailer. I do not even remember the name of the movie. I called it The Last Skywalker when I tweeted about it. I had such low expectations. By the way, another Starship IPA from Voodoo Ranger. Not yet released. It's hella good. Hella good. So then, when it came out and I saw it, the first, I'd say like 20 to 30 minutes, I was just like, oh my god, like, I'm rolling my eyes so hard. I don't like what they're doing. This is really cheesy. I hope it picks up. I see what they're doing though. They're literally trying to fix what happened in the last movie, but it's still a hard watch. It started picking up, right? You started getting an idea of what the story was. You started having a goal. So the character started going places. I hated the dialogue initially, then it started getting better. I was still upset about the whole Emperor Palpatine thing. I didn't understand what was that? Okay, like I guess I don't need to understand it, but that whole audience of Sith people around Palpatine, like those are just entities, I guess, of evil, like all the Sith that ever existed or something. I don't know. I still feel like they didn't. They kept some of like I feel like Finn could have been a much better character. He was setting up to be such a cool character. It seemed like he got relegated to like a tertiary character by the second and third movie. He started off a Han Solo like level of importance character, and then he diminished down to like, no, not Jar Jar Binks. Kind of. No, not Jar Jar Binks. Like C-3PO. Yeah, just kind of like comedic relief, and he's there for his friends. I can't tell who is this? Oh, that's Rose, right? I feel kind of bad for her because they kind of relegated her to complete unimportance in this movie because fans were mad. That's the kind of shit I don't like. It's like the fans get mad about shit and then they're like, okay, we're going to give you less time. Fans don't like you. That's actually fucked up. And that's just because fans were fucking toxic and talking shit. Honestly, like, I thought the character was a little annoying in the last movie. But it doesn't mean they couldn't fix the character, you know what I mean? Like, even Jar Jar Binks got a little more tolerable in the later half. He was pretty decent in the Clone Wars too, the animated one. Like, he got better. I liked the character that we barely saw, the one who was sent out to kill Rey, or at least bring Rey to Palpatine early on. I liked her. Or I liked the inclusion of that character because it gave you part of the mythos of Star Wars, where the Empire hired pretty much assassins to kill off like potential Force users and shit, because that's a thing. I don't necessarily, like, I don't need the fan service of, like, bringing back Lando, right? I don't need that. But if you tell me this guy exists because of what happened on Cloud City, because Lando was running shit, then I'm like, cool. That's cool. I like that. I like the connection. Turns out Huck is a spy for the Resistance. Again, not the Republic, just the Resistance. And in his words, the reason he's a spy is not because he cares if they win. He just wants Kylo Ren to lose. That's why he's a spy. So, like, at the beginning of this movie, they get some kind of information about the Empire, that Palpatine's alive and he's doing his shit. And then they get they find out that it's because of a spy, and then it is revealed later that Huck is a spy. In a very eye-rolling moment where Poe and Finn are about to be executed by stormtroopers, and then Hux is like, let me do it. And then he ends up shooting all of the stormtroopers instead, and then he's like, I'm the spy. And this is why I did it. And then they kill him. Rey definitely developed. Rey was great. Rey and Kylo were the best part of this whole trilogy. Kylo, for me specifically, I thought Kylo was such a sick character from the beginning. I like the development of their Jedi or their Force training and how much better they got with the Force in each movie. Like, by the time this movie rolls around, they're just bona fide, just fucking monsters with the Force. They're straight up the best Jedi that have ever existed, which to me makes me very happy because they should be. They've been around the longest so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, Leffen would run circles around Ken. Armada would squash PC Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys better be the best they've ever been. And they showed it. They really showcased it. It was cool. Alright, Jedi tier list. Okay. We can split them up into tiers. Okay? Or, no, not Jedi tier list, but, Force user tier list. Creepy! Welcome to the sub pub, man. Oh, is this what gets me subs? The Excel sheets? Okay, so we got Palpatine, I think, is the number one Force user. Clearly. I think number two, with what I saw in this movie and everything, I think it goes to Rey. Number three is Anakin. Oh, God. Okay, I think Kylo Ren. And 5, Yoda. That's the top tier. That's okay. Luke Skywalker. Okay, that's the top tier. And then high tier. I'll explain all of them. Hold on, let me just get this out of my head. Okay, high tier is like Mace Windu, Obi-Wan. Oh, Dooku. Dooku was the shit. Dooku was some shit. All right, do I include General Grievous? Nah, he didn't use the Force. He was just trained in the Jedi martial arts. Qui-Gon, dude, what did he do? He was trash. Oh, wait, no. Maul is better than Qui-Gon for sure. Maul, and then we go to mid tier. Mid tier is where Qui-Gon comes in. Fucking trash. That guy was Garbo. Oh, Ahsoka was sick. Ahsoka was good. Ahsoka, all right. Look, I think Ahsoka probably falls right under Darth Maul. In the who the fuck knows tier is Snoke, Leia. If Anakin was still around, unharmed by Obi-Wan, I think he'd be up there. So Vader is the broken down version of Anakin. He's half of what Anakin could have been. Anakin could have been number 1, really. Little ass kid from the end of The Last Jedi. The Broom Jedi. Palpatine's joke-ass son. Man was born of Palpatine and never used the Force in his life. The guy's pathetic. Just because Obi-Wan beat Anakin in a fight does not mean that... Look, he had the high ground. Of course he's winning. You can't beat that. You could have given the fucking broom boy the high ground and he would have beaten Emperor Palpatine. You can't beat the high ground. Just fucking pops him in the forehead with the end of the broom and he's fucking done. He falls into the lava, he dies. You can't beat the high ground. We deserve an edit. S tier. Broom Kid Jedi on the high ground. You can't beat that. You actually just can't beat that. But we did... No, like, it was arguable that Mace Windu was more powerful than Yoda at the time. And he beat down Palpatine. The only reason I changed the ranking and I don't put Mace Windu higher is because he died... He got got. Like, he got cheated on. Like, he could have just killed the Emperor right there. He was powerful enough to do it. But he got fucked up because Anakin intervened. Like, literally, it took number 1 and number 3 to take out Mace Windu. But then he died too early. So then the rest got a chance to get better. Like, just imagine, like, Muchi King's career gets stopped, like, 6 months within the game. Then you can't put him in the top, like, 5 of all time. But because he got to live out his career, you have to put him in the top 5. Maybe even higher. Mace got ended too soon. He could have gotten even better. And honestly, I don't think Luke is all that, dude. I honestly don't think Luke is all that. Like, look at his competition. Who did he really beat? Why is he the best? No. You know what? Fuck that. Fuck that. Luke moves down. Luke never had... When he had a reign, it was with an asterisk. It was with an asterisk. It's like the dark ages of Melee right after Brawl where we had like 8-man locals tops. If you were the best at that time, okay, fine. No one was playing. Vader comes here. Like if Mace Windu was still alive, you think Vader takes him out? Not without help. Vader doesn't one-on-one him. I think Yoda, he went into exile because he knew he was outnumbered. But if it was just one-on-one, Yoda wins. I'm honestly feeling like my tier list makes perfect sense. I'm actually really proud of this. This actually just makes sense. Luke became better later on. But was he better than Kylo? Was he better than Rey at that age? Nah. Mace Windu, with more time, he'd be better than Luke at that point. Vader, if he wasn't half a man, he'd be better than Luke. Yoda would have been better. All these people would have been better, I think. Justify Rey? Did you see her in the 3rd movie? She's literally doing things that Jedi weren't doing. She's like breaking the mold, holding back. Her power is ridiculous. Savage Opress. Yeah. The worst name of all time. Savage Opress. His name was actually Savage Opress. He was better than Qui-Gon's trash. I don't know why you guys... Savage Opress. Oh, Palpatine kills him. Oh, then he's underrated. Oh. You can't blame a guy for that. He ran into the first seed. Wait, bottom tier? The younglings. Yeah, you're right. Dead, all of them. Sidious, if anything, Sidious is the guy that loses to Mace Windu. So Sidious would be right above Vader. If we separated them, Sidious would be right above Vader. Now, what about Plagueis? The Wise. Oh shit. Plagueis? Plagueis the Wise? Yeah, he's trash. Bottom tier. Motherfucker stayed sleeping. He got killed in his sleep. How are you a Sith Lord knowing that apprentices always kill their masters and then you're just sleeping on the kid? Come on. The younglings at bottom tier are so funny. I mean, yeah, they never got to develop their skills. As far as we know, they were trash and they died staying trash. I don't know what to tell you, man. It is what it is. Imagine Palpatine on the high ground. Oh my god. He'll take out Goku on the high ground, dude. Qui-Gon's trash. Qui-Gon's trash. Look, Maul is like high tier and he lost to Qui-Gon. He got fucked up by Maul fucked up Qui-Gon. No, I'm wrong about Luke. At his twilight years, I think he was above Sidious. He would have beaten Vader if he kept trying. Yeah. Mace Windu? Okay, I think I'm sleeping on Luke. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But I was ranking Luke based on the original trilogy, in which case he's below all these guys. But he clearly got better. He clearly got better. Yeah. You're right. He clearly got better. Look, everyone's deleting their comments. They don't... They're thinking about it. Look at this. How's Yoda not first? Easy. Everyone likes to think Yoda's the greatest Jedi to ever live. But no, he got surpassed. He was, for his time... Honestly, Mace Windu was the best. He just got backstabbed. He got double teamed. By like number 1 and number 3. That's fucked up. If Yoda and Mace Windu enter that room to take out Palpatine, then it's all over. In fact, I don't even understand how you know that you have the Sith Lord in your midst and you don't bring Yoda. Mace had him, though. He wasn't expecting Anakin. Okay, true. Fair. Mace actually did have him. Fair. You're right. You're right. That's not his fault. Mans fell asleep around his Sith apprentice. Like motherfuckers ain't been killing their masters for millennia. Why is Mace Windu so high? Look, he's boring, yeah, but he straight up beat Palpatine or Sidious one-on-one, straight up. And Sidious is the best of all time. And it is rumored, and actually like kind of canon, that he was stronger than Yoda at the time. Okay, here's the juicy stuff. Star Wars lists. Okay. Let's just do rankings. Straight up rankings. I don't think you can divide them into tiers. The way I usually do these is I have an easy time placing the extreme ones, right? The ones that I'm sure are the best or the worst. Let's start off with the best. I think The Empire Strikes Back is number 1. I think that's number 1. Yes, sir. No question. Yep. A New Hope. Number 2. Easy. So one that set everything up. That's I actually question if A New Hope is better than Empire Strikes Back. If I watched both, I actually kind of think I might like A New Hope better. Okay, let me give you a bottom 3. This is in no order. No order. The Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. Our bottom 3, no question. I'm not going to explain each one. So Solo was a really cool movie. It was fun. It was like a good heist movie. And it's not supposed to fit into the universe. But even as a heist movie, it felt like a very shallow, fun, but not that good action movie. Which, if it wasn't Star Wars, I wouldn't have given it a second chance. Like, I wouldn't have even watched it. It was a solid, like, 60 to 50 grade movie. Like a D or an F. But because it's Star Wars, I gave it a shot, and it was fine. It's a movie I'd watch on an airplane. Right there. I think The Rise of Skywalker goes right there. It's fine. It does its job, and I think it falters because its main purpose is to clean up the mess that The Last Jedi left behind. And then The Last Jedi's main issue is that The Force Awakens exists. It is connected with everything else, and that is the problem with it. That it disconnects from everything that has been built up from the prior movie. That's the problem with it, okay? It's a bad sequel. Decent movie, bad sequel. And then The Rise of Skywalker, honestly, wastes a lot of time, wastes a lot of plot points, wastes a lot of energy trying to tie things back into the first movie that were being set up because The Last Jedi closed them off. And the big 3 that I'm thinking of are Rey's parents, Snoke dying without a backstory or detail of any kind, and And then inconsistencies between character behavior and the way that they typically are. And I understand characters change and evolve, but if you're going to change and evolve them, you need to write it in a way where you could have a bridge between how they were and how they are. Ooh, okay. I think I know. Number 6 for me, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, number 6. This is the lowest ranking of the original trilogy. I think anyone who likes that movie a lot is kind of like out of their mind. I think it's good. It's great. But I think it's mostly fan service. You could tell there's a huge dip in quality from the first two. And at that point, they were kind of cashing it in, saying, let's close this out. It was still a satisfying conclusion. It was essentially just a much, much, much better Rise of Skywalker. It's what the Rise of Skywalker would have been if the Rise of Skywalker didn't have to account for all of the Last Jedi's mistakes. It turns into fucking slapstick, like these stormtroopers are getting knocked in the head by sticks. Like, they literally throw a pebble at one of them, they're like, ugh, and like he gets knocked, oh, like, relax. Not worthy of the original trilogy. It doesn't even hold a candle to the other two. Straight up. Some people like to act like it's somewhere in the same realm just because it's part of the original trilogy. It's not. It's not. There are movies from the other trilogies that are better than Return of the Jedi. Okay? Okay, so we got, you know what we got left. Okay, let's just list them. No order. All right, Rogue One, number 5. Rogue One was a very well done movie. Not like the greatest, not the most, like, okay, it kind of suffers from the fact that it's a one-off, like it's a side movie, but it covers a very, very interesting point in the universe. Literally the time right in between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, where the rebellion essentially starts. A very important part that wasn't covered. It's got a lot of heart. Well acted. Well paced. Well done in a lot of ways. Rogue One is not that much better than the rest, but it is good, but it's not part of the main trilogy, so it's not as impactful, but it is great. All right, let me explain the flaws of both and the benefits of both, so you could figure out why I'm choosing what, okay? The benefits of The Force Awakens are super, super tight. I'm talking Spielberg-esque direction. Great acting. Great. It's just such a clean movie. It's super well done. And it serves a purpose to reinvigorate people's loves for Star Wars that hasn't existed for over a decade. That's what made it great. The only problem, the big problem, is that it was a fucking rehash and a half. It was literally the same exact story with new faces, which is a big problem. You know what I'm saying? This is just like, if you love Post Malone, then you're going to love Post Malone's next album, right? Granted, it's not an evolution, but it's just more bangers, and you're happy with that. It's the safest shit ever. But in terms of the direction, in terms of the acting, in terms of what it was, the execution was beautiful. It's great. And like I said, as a fan, I'm not going to mind if they give me more of the shit I like. Okay? Revenge of the Sith. The good. It covered probably the most impactful moment in the entire Star Wars universe. But the execution was piss poor. Do you value the execution of a good movie or what it does for the Star Wars universe? The lore. I like the universe. I like what is built from it. Which is kind of why I didn't like The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is a better movie, technically, than a lot of these other movies. But it fucks with my universe. It fucks with the universe. Not on some like, oh, that's not how you use the Force. Not on that kind of bullshit. I mean that it takes, it closes threads. It takes away. It doesn't build the universe. It shrinks it. Revenge of the Sith expanded it. And it's kind of just like a very, very shittily done Avengers Endgame, right? It just put it all together, and it was very satisfying, albeit a bad movie. But as a Star Wars fan, and what I come to Star Wars for, Revenge of the Sith goes to number 3. And Force Awakens goes to number 4. Okay? That I could totally agree with that being wrong. No one's going to sit here and tell me that Force Awakens or anything else is better than Revenge of the Sith. I will accept it. That's fine. Now, let's get to the dirty shit. The down and dirty. Okay? I'm going to make this easy. I don't think there's any contest. I think The Phantom Menace is clearly the worst one. It did very little for the universe other than provide a very flimsy backstory to the start. And honestly, kind of an era that could have been covered within the first 30 minutes of the film. They could have done a Lion King thing where he just grew up and then you get the teenage Anakin, which would have been far more interesting than fucking 8-year-old Anakin blowing up some shit that no one gave a fuck about, right? Darth Maul was cool. Qui-Gon was kind of a bitch, low-tier ass Jedi. Fucking garbage. Or mid-tier, fine, whatever. But execution, the writing, the dialogue, the importance within the universe, all of it, bottom tier. Trash. Oh, the music, though. Ooh. Okay, that was good. Okay. Fine. I don't see how you cover probably one of the top 2 most important wars of the entire universe and just shit the bed with it. Like, oh man, I hate sand. The really awkward attempt at a love romance story. Like, to this day, I still don't know why a girl like Padme got with a guy like Anakin. Like, first of all, she was way older. That's not realistic. Old girls don't like young men until they're cougars. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And then the Jedi are like at their peak idiocy in this movie. Like there's constantly, they know there's a problem with Anakin. And then they antagonize him by like, we don't trust you. You're trash. We hate you. You're garbage. You're going to kill us all. And he's like, but I just want to be included. No, fuck you. And it's just like Attack of the Clones is the movie that tried to be what the Clone Wars, the TV show, was. The Clone Wars, if you haven't seen it, is one of the best fucking TV shows ever, especially animated. It's so sick. It covers that period the way that it should have been covered. Obviously, they had more time and more episodes to do it, but it's so good. Grievous gets more character development and like just mainstay power from the cartoon show than he did from this movie. This movie decided to introduce him, and he's just kind of this cool looking droid, but then he just dies. Like, he's cool, he's kind of threatening, but if you haven't seen him in the Clone Wars, the TV show, you have no idea how fucking sick Grievous is. Grievous is so sick. So sick. That's the good and bad of Attack of the Clones. The bad, poorly executed, trash, poorly acted, kind of a waste. But it's a good period. A good period, an important period, fine. Last Jedi. And I've come to agree that a lot of the choices they made are okay as a standalone movie. But it becomes dismissive and kind of, and I just use the word lazy, writing, to completely eradicate everything that was set up in The Force Awakens. And because of that, its choices in killing off Snoke without giving him any kind of detail, literally the number one evil in the universe at that time, its decision to take the setup that was being provided by The Force Awakens for Rey's parents and then to just literally act like her parents don't matter whatsoever in the next movie, and to literally take one of the most epic scenes I've ever seen, where Rey gives Luke Skywalker his lightsaber back at the end of The Force Awakens, and then start the next movie with some wannabe Marvel-esque ass fucking humor, where he takes that very same saber 2 years later and then just throws it off the fucking cliff like it's supposed to be funny? Fuck that. Fuck that. I have the right to be mad. Okay? To completely just end every thread that was being set up by the first movie ruins the entire trilogy. It takes away from the universe, which is what I love about Star Wars. So it's offensive. The themes were great. Like, to change it up, I think is a great idea. Right? Luke is not this benevolent, perfect human being. But you know what? He never was. So it's not changing that much. It's kind of keeping in line with what was before. So that's cool. Rey is looking for an answer from her parents. So now she finds out that her parents don't mean anything. Sort of. And she's got to find her own reasons to be amazing. Her own reasons to fight the good fight. All that. Okay, cool. Kylo is neither light nor dark. He's somewhere in the middle. He says, fuck the Sith, fuck the Jedi. Rey is neither light or dark. She's also saying, like, I don't really fit in with the Jedi. I'm not that perfect. But I don't want to be dark because that's what they told me. But then I have all these tendencies. Fine. Those are great. Great characters. It's just that it didn't fit within the universe, and it honestly is The Force Awakens' fault. If Rian Johnson did the whole thing, okay. I respect the change. I think you guys know where I'm ranking these. We got to put Attack of the Clones at number 10. The Last Jedi at number 9. While The Last Jedi pissed me off, it is a better movie. And the Attack of the Clones' only redeeming quality is that it covers a decent time and expands the universe. But it's a very poor movie. But, dude, yeah, I think I'm very comfortable with this list. I'm comfortable with Empire... okay, so, like, this is still sketch. I got to rewatch A New Hope, but it's between 1 and 2. I think Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens and Rogue One is a little sketch, but I still agree with this order for the reasons I stated. Let's move on. Return of the Jedi. Overrated because it was part of the original trilogy. But it's not that good. But it's good enough. Rise of Skywalker. Could have been better. Not great because it had to make up for the mess that The Last Jedi made by closing off all kinds of threads. They're like, oh shit, we need a supervillain. Oh fuck. We killed Snoke for no fucking reason. All right, let's just bring in Palpatine for no fucking reason. So it was bad in a lot of ways, but I can't blame it because it was trying to cover for what happened with The Last Jedi. Solo was literally, it was just a heist movie that barely fit into the universe. And even then, it was just a mediocre heist movie. So, whatever. Last Jedi. I've explained this. I have a 2-hour video on my YouTube about it. It closes a lot of threads that were necessary. A lot of dumb shit happened. But overall, a well-done movie. It's just it doesn't fit in the context of this universe or this trilogy. And that's what fucks it up. If The Force Awakens didn't exist, Last Jedi might be okay. Attack of the Clones. Garbage acting, garbage dialogue, garbage writing, garbage everything except it covers an important era of the Star Wars universe. That's the only reason it's not dead last. And The Phantom Menace is all that, plus it covers a period that doesn't really fucking matter. It's when Anakin's a fucking 8-year-old, and it never changes. It doesn't change. He should have been an 8-year-old and then transitioned into a teen by the end of the movie, but they chose to just stick to that plot time. And I got nothing out of it other than he had the Force. Literally, the whole point of this movie is to say, oh, Anakin kind of has the Force. Cool. Trash. My trilogy tier list? Oh, that's easy. Original. Oh, that's hard. Because 2 of the trilogy are at the bottom. It should be original, sequels, and then prequels. But overall, I think it's original, prequels, and then sequels. Revenge of the Sith, the story and the effect on the universe is hard carrying. But in terms of movies and quality, obviously the sequels are better. Like if the sequels quality was applied to the prequel trilogy, oh my god, it would have blown my mind. But it's not. They're trying to create a new universe. And they didn't do a good enough job on it for me to say that it's better. And I hate sand. Yes. And I hope they don't decide after this movie Because it's going to get better audience reviews than The Last Jedi. But I hope they don't decide that they can't experiment or risk things. Because they can. It's just got to be cohesive. But anyway, yeah, this is my list. I think I'm satisfied with it. I think I argued it to the full extent that I could. I'm not saying I'm objectively right, but I think I defended my points and my ranking. I think some people will agree. Some people won't. I think the most controversials are Revenge of the Sith this high, Return of the Jedi this low. That's it. I think those are the most controversial ones. I'm happy with this. I think it's good. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow I'll be back on Showdown. I'll try to defend my top 500 title. See what I can do. All right. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace out. Good night.